I'm Evelyn, and I'm a geoholic.
Well, she was born in late October, San Antonio. Now she's every girl I've ever known.
Nice intro.
Like that one.
Yeah.
It's a dandy.
I like it.
Welcome back, Geoholics, episode 210.
210.
210, as producer Sean likes to say.
I do.
Indeed. This one's going to be fun because I am literally coming in hot from a work trip. Just landed about an hour and a half ago. Went right to the studio.
All right.
Not a ton of notes for this one, so we're going to be winging it.
Well, I would venture to say that might be a good thing.
It's going to be fun. Really looking forward to it. This is our second episode this week as well.
It is.
So what's new with you in the last 2 days?
Not a whole lot.
Not really?
My general excitement / anxiety coming up for the big game this weekend.
Yeah.
Final Four
so excited
game
for you.
is continuing.
Did you get tickets yet?
Yeah.
You did?
I got backup tickets, and I've got a line on some club level nicer tickets.
So you have tickets for Saturday,
and don't go there. I'm not gonna. No. I don't. Just.
So you go to both games?
Yeah. Definitely
cool.
Go to both.
That's
games.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
But it reminds me of living in North Carolina when the ACC tournament is a big deal in North Carolina, and growing up, and I had a chance to go to a couple of times.
That's awesome.
And for there, it's like starts at 10 and ends at 8 p.m. It's 4 games all day, and you just watch 4 straight games of basketball all day. Like it's really cool.
That's cool.
Like different fan bases kind of bring their stuff. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Believe it or not, the Southern Illinois University at Carbondale Salukis made the tournament a couple times.
Oh, really?
While I was there, as a matter of fact. So I made the journey to Chicago to watch them in their the opening game.
Was that still, they have peach baskets, or was it actually like a
Saluki?
No, like was there a 3-point line when you were?
Or
was it?
I see where you're going with this. You're referring to me as being old.
I am. Not so subtly.
No, they had a 3-point line.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
They weren't very good at it, but they didn't win. But they made it, and it was like, for a small school like that, it was like, oh my God, the Salukis are in the tournament. It was crazy.
No matter what, it's exciting.
It really is.
So we already know what's new with you. So
that, and you know what? Our good friend Dave Portnoy.
Oh yeah, that's a big news.
He was just in town today, and we missed him. Dang,
well,
so
he was
mad.
Literally a half mile from our studio. Was over there at Trevor's.
Yes.
Yeah, a couple of my buddies were there.
Your buddies were there. My oldest daughter, McKenna, was there.
Yeah.
I mean, a bunch of people were there. And Miss Peaches.
Miss Peaches, and did some pizza ratings.
Do you realize
cool.
Miss Peaches has? I mean, I haven't looked today, but last I looked, it was like 900,000 followers on Instagram. That's why I sent you a message. I'm like, dude, we need a podcast dog.
I don't know if it can be as popular, as successful as Miss Peaches.
So,
I mean, it's a good thing to shoot for.
Louis the Geoholic.
Yes.
Right.
The new puppy at the Faber house
could
easily be the Geoholic's dog.
Hey, we might be onto something.
We might be.
All right. We're getting way off topic here. Tell us about that opening number there, producer Sean.
Oh, yeah. That was Turnpike Troubadours. Song called Every Girl. Turnpike Troubadours is an American country music group formed from Oklahoma, founded in 2005. They started their own imprint, Bossier City Records, in 2007 and have released 5 studio albums.
Wow.
Their self-titled 2015 album peaked at number 17 on the Billboard 200, and their most recent album, A Long Way From Your Heart, was released in October 2017 and peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Top Country Albums chart. So I gotta say, I like it, but I've never heard of this group before. It may have been through my playlist a couple times.
May have been. And you know what? We used a Turnpike Troubadour song on a previous episode.
No way.
Episode 105.
Really?
Landon Jacks. Yep. Big Turnpike Troubadour fan.
And this is episode 210, so exactly half.
Exactly half. Isn't that interesting?
Very
So you know what? I just
interesting.
cut and pasted
The exact
from
same.
that to that. So who knows?
So
they might have a new album
I
out
guess
by now.
they probably released a new album since 2017.
I'm so lazy. All right. We are, of course, in the Altera Central studio this evening. Altera is the #1 Trimble geospatial dealer in the world.
We do know that because we met some international Altera Central guys.
And I need to talk to you about that because they're having an open house here in Phoenix here May 5th or something like that.
Yeah.
And they want the Geoholics to be there.
Oh, really?
Yes. I think we should do it.
Interesting. Well, I think we have to.
Probably free hot dogs at least.
Well, they're a a key sponsor.
They are.
I think they didn't ask. I think they said, "Hey, you guys should really be there."
So we were voluntold.
We were voluntold to show up. Is probably
The Altera team is comprised of dedicated and talented individuals ready to help you find the solutions to your surveying, mapping, GIS, forensics, and marine challenges with their expertise and knowledge of what the latest technology has to offer. To find out more, simply go to alteracentral.com.
Yeah, very nice.
Next up, we have the GeoMax Weekly Service Pro Tip. To find out more about GeoMax, of course, go to geomax-positioning.com. And producer Sean, I think this one's teed up for you.
Yes, it is. I like this. It's somewhat similar to what about a month ago, but I like how this is phrased. Whether it's a bored demeanor, a dismissive look, or just plain rude behavior, sloppy customer service spells disaster faster than just about any other business transgression.
100%.
I mean, cannot argue with that. That was Lauren Simmons, managing editor of the Small Business Community. Small Business Computing.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's
that as well. Yeah. And yeah, like even emails, right? Emails are so dangerous. That's something
you cannot communicate tone in email. And it's easier when I read it and catch it than when I do it myself. You know, like you don't catch
100%.
it yourself, but then
totally agree.
Sometimes it's like, hey, you know, you kind of sounded like an asshole in that email. And you're like, what? I just, yeah. So,
Yep.
and I got to do it real quick. The rule around my office is a while ago. I think it was Herm Edwards. He was,
don't hit send.
You know
right?
Where I'm going.
Don't hit send.
Yeah. He was
I love that.
a NFL coach. And then they asked him to do a talk to the rookies at the rookie symposium or what it is for all the rookies coming into the NFL.
Yep.
And the way he said it was, you're going to be typing out that tweet, maybe late at night, maybe at the club, maybe something. You're going to type it out. The only thing I'm saying, you can type it out, but right before you think about pushing send, don't push send.
Don't hit send.
And that's what I tell the guys. And actually, it's kind of caught on pretty well. It's like, okay, I finished this. And then right before you push, just take a second and think about it.
Yeah.
Take a second and read right through there. And with the feedback I've gotten is they send about half the emails that they actually draft out.
Yeah, that's good.
Sometimes you just start firing away of like, no. And then before you realize it, you're doing exactly what this quote is talking about is just being dismissive or just a little bit rude. Man, it is disaster.
It could lead to disaster. No question. So before the show, producer Sean volunteered to do double duty.
I did.
Because he knew I came in a little frazzled.
So
that's
what I'm here for.
We, of course, have the GeoSearch Job of the Week. And, of course, to find out more about GeoSearch, you simply go to geosearch.com. What do we have this week, producer Sean?
Yes, this is from the GeoSearch Career Corner. And the big question for them is, are you a skilled project surveyor looking for your next challenge? GeoSearch presents this week's Job of the Week. So this company is seeking a talented project surveyor in Northeast Pennsylvania. Candidates in PA can work remotely. And that'll be considered. And this potential candidate must have 8 years of experience and a professional degree in land surveying or civil engineering. No comment. This person will lead survey tasks, manage teams, and ensure accurate deliverables. This role includes scheduling crews, data collection, utilizing tools like AutoCAD, Civil 3D, and Trimble products. Plus, you'll have the opportunity for mentorship and career growth.
That in itself is a huge opportunity.
Absolutely. If you're ready to take on a dynamic role in a thriving geospatial company, apply today at geosearch.com. Happy survey.
Happy survey.
I like that.
I love it. Oh man, it's great. I love those guys at GeoSearch. They're amazing. And gals.
It really is a good resource.
100%. All right, let's get our guest in here. Of course, our guest this week is presented by Airworks, and you can find out more about Airworks. Are you chasing a bug over there?
No, it's a fly. Just keep going.
Okay. You can find out more about Airworks by simply going to airworks.io. Those guys are doing some really cool things as well.
Mm-hmm.
We have Shannon Conaway with us this evening. And here's a little bit about Shannon before we loop him in here. He was born in Harbor City, California. Get this. In his early preteen years, his parents moved to North Carolina.
Kindred spirits.
Interesting. And then to Las Vegas for most of his high school years. He attended Fresno State. Go
Bulldogs.
Bam. Good thing I wasn't offering any money on that one. In his free time, he likes to golf. He likes to spend time with his family and friends, RVing, barbecue, and he's just getting into deep sea fishing, I understand.
Cool.
That's pretty cool. His current job is he is the founding partner and CEO of one of the founding partners, I'm assuming, and CEO of Conaway Geomatics. And his passion is simply the A&E industry with a special passion for surveying, of course. What are you looking at?
I'm just distracted.
Oh my goodness. Training and preparing the next generation of surveyors. And of course, he loves his family.
Of course.
I love that. Shannon, welcome to the Geoholics. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I'm glad you're able to carve out some time to join us. Before we jump into the meat of this, we have to, of course, go to the Trimble Geospatial Icebreaker. Yes. So let's do that. So our icebreaker this week, and this is totally off the cuff because I don't have notes in front of me.
Love it.
Here we go. What is the best advice, Shannon, you have ever received?
I think, the best advice, I got it from my father, and it was about leadership. And he said that the key to leadership is you take the blame when things go wrong and you defer credit when things go right.
I love that. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. What's yours, buddy? Anything come to mind?
I mean, there's a lot, I would say. I think it was and I don't remember who it was, but it was the don't sweat the small stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and I can't
You're
remember
good at
along
that.
the way, but don't let that stuff.
You are good at that.
And it's done me well.
It has.
What about you?
Sure.
What did Abe Lincoln tell you?
No,
in a dream.
I'm gonna go with Dwight Schrute on this one.
Okay.
Dwight Schrute simply said, "Don't do dumb things." That's good, right? Just don't do dumb things.
I can see that. All right.
So Shannon, born in Harbor City, California, went to Fresno State. One of the founding partners of Conaway Geomatics. Talk about that journey just a little bit.
Yeah. How did you get to founding Conaway Geomatics?
Well, it was a midlife crisis. I did it at the ripe old age of 50 when I started. So I've been in business for 5 years, but it was a little bit of a circuitous route to get there. I went to Fresno State after I got out of the Army. So I was in my late 20s when I graduated, and I had 2 kids. And so I really liked the private side of the business. I did some internships and really was gravitated more towards private consulting. And so I sought out different companies, and I thought the route that I was on was kind of escalating through that way to making a principal and partner with some of these firms and work for different firms, work for Carter and Burgess, and then we got bought out by Jacobs, big publicly traded company. And in that process of the last 3 years, I was running a big program where I had 20 sub-consulting small businesses that were working for me. Mm-hmm. And I approached it where I was going to, give them good mentorship and be in this big company, and they all came in, and it just really was humbling because I found out that, it wasn't quite up to speed as I thought it was with all the technology and on the practice. And I just really was impressed with everybody's business acumen, and it just really inspired me and led me the journey to actually wind up opening my own business. So my wife and this journey we went through, she went back to college about 10, 15 years ago, and she earned her degree in business finance. And so we're the 2 founding members. And so taking the business side and the survey side was, that really was, I think that's our secret sauce, is starting with that. And then having, a ton of experience, being able to leverage that experience. So
Yeah. No.
So I got to ask, I want to dive a little deeper in. So you just kind of blew right through that, but you went from managing a bunch of people or managing a bunch of groups, and then all of a sudden you said, you know what, let me do this on my own. And I know that a lot of the people we talk to and a lot of our audience is curious, like expand that a little more and tell me how you got from where you were to making the big transition. And was it just one day you woke up and said, let's do this, or how did you plan, and how did you get there?
Yeah. How did you plan? I like that. Yeah. That's a novel concept. No, I mean, it was, I did kind of gloss through that. Right. So, it was a process. I think for me, my experience at Jacobs, which I'm very thankful for, it was really pivotal with me starting my own business, because really what I found was that, as you know, we won work, we would, I try to grow the group, and trying to go surveying within like a large engineering company it's challenging. I know you guys have probably been there, right? It's very difficult. I'm sorry, I got a grandfather clock right here that's going off, so hopefully not too late. Yeah. You can edit that out in post.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No problem.
All right. Stuff you don't think about when you get on a podcast.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, what really, pushed me to starting my own business was consistently where I was caught up in, we would win a big project and start putting together a team and put together a really good team of people. And it's hard. I mean, you guys know it's really hard to get a qualified team together in this practice, and then get a qualified team together that works really well together and is accomplishing great things. And then to not get support from the company because the project will wind down, and their attitude essentially was, well, if they don't even work for them, lay them off. And I just I started getting pretty philosophical, going, okay, being a publicly traded company in the industry that we sell people's time doesn't make sense. We're not widgets. And so when you're trying to behave like that, I just don't know how you can be successful. And then surveying, now we're never the tip of the spear of these big multi-million-dollar pursuits. We add a ton of value. And because you're not the tip of the spear, you're just, you're not going to get you're not the key resume. You're not you're not what's winning it for them. And, I get the big business side of it. So that really, I started thinking more and more about that. And then, and working with these smaller companies and just seeing how they operate. I mean, I found my passion really kind of went to that direction and said, okay, well, what I really enjoy doing is I enjoy building teams. I enjoy working on teams. I think the funnest thing that we do as surveyors is, work with our clients and finding ways to get creative ways to get the work done. And, the best way to do that is have a great team.
Yeah. So was it a hard decision? Like, did you have many sleepless nights as you were pondering this idea with your wife?
It was easier for her. It was hard for me. I was vexed with the knowledge of just all the hard work that goes into it.
Sure.
And so I would, like you go through all the machinations, go like now I don't have a marketing person. I don't have, I don't have accounting. I don't have IT. Now I got to bring all that together. Now I got to be that person and do the job too. Right. Sure. So I had a million reasons why not to do it. And it really came down to my wife was like, hey, I'm tired of hearing you complain about it. It's either shut up and go work for somebody. I don't want to hear you complain anymore.
Sure.
Quit being a pain in the ass, or do it, And so, she really was the one that really kicked me in the ass, so to speak, and pushed me over the edge to get it going. And I can say from right out of the gate, though, I have not looked back or regretted the decision, not 1 second.
You know what's funny? I hear that from my wife when it comes to vacuuming the house. Starting a business.
But equally as passionate.
Yeah, exactly. So was it just you and her to start out, or did you have other people?
Yeah, we brought a junior partner along, and that didn't work out. The thing with business, there's a lot of people who think they want to be in business. They like the idea of it, but they don't understand the level of commitment or what it really takes to be a business owner. And so he flamed up pretty quickly. Just didn't have the same level of commitment or intensity, and it became really evident. I mean, one of the things that we did, at least on the front end, we put together a buy-sell agreement, and so when it was evident that it wasn't working out, we said, hey, we had to have that difficult discussion, and he's happier for not being a part of it. And the business actually, it took one leap forward because having him involved in the business was actually holding us back. So we made that decision pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like, when did you start to realize like, hey, I've got something here?
I think it's just, there's all these different, it's interesting. I think it was right from the beginning. There's always these different steps along the way that I think, there was something that, on the front end I believed in, but I would say probably 6 months after we parted ways with our junior partner. And I was really working with our team with, so you guys can imagine, we've got a really young team. We're a small business. And so our approach is we've got to train. So once I started working with the team and then seeing how fast they grew and how they were able to fill in all these different roles we had, that's when I said, oh, holy crap, man, this is really neat. I mean, this young team has come so far within a short period of time, and they're producing some really good work. And I think that's one of the things that, to me, with the junior partner, he and I had worked together for 17 years, and we were struggling just getting out just simple maps, legal descriptions. I was thinking, what the hell is going on here? This is never part of what we've done before. So, yeah, I would say that 6 month mark was when I just said, oh yeah, this is really cool.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool. It was the young guys that were coming along much faster than you thought was what moved you to think that you really had something, and it had nothing to do with what you were doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that generation they learn so fast, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's, and I don't know about you guys, but to me, that's really the joy of what we do is transferring our knowledge to other people and then finding other people that are interested. I think with surveying, I love it. I just love it. But it's like somebody asks me what I do, then I literally have to kind of have this interaction I have with them. I said, well, I'm a surveyor. Do you know what that is? Well, no. And I said, well, it's kind of closely related to civil engineering. Do you want me to tell you about it? They go, no. And I say, okay, fine. I want to tell you about it. Well, they say, yeah, well, no, we'll talk about it. Right. So we'll move on.
Yeah. We'll talk a little bit about more about your path to becoming a surveyor. You mentioned, you were in the Army. Again, thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
Is that where you got introduced to surveying?
No, my dad was a civil engineer, and he would take me into work. He worked primarily on the public side, but he would always, as a kid, he would want to take me and show me what he was doing. And inevitably, we would wind up surveying because he wanted to show me some roadie design. So he'd take us out with the crew, and so we're laying everything out. We would go. I remember in North Carolina, Sean, that we were laying out some ball fields outside of Gastonia, and put them all. I love baseball at the time, and so we're actually surveying these ball fields in. So, my experiences with engineering were surveying, and so as he thought he was teaching me engineering, I was kind of catching on to surveying. And then when I was in high school in Las Vegas, he worked for a private company, and so I would go in and chain. They'd have a guy that would come out. They had a little bit of survey work that'd fly him in, and so I'd go support him and. He would yell at me, and I would, sit there and go, I don't know what he said, and barking stuff on the laugh, and so I got exposed to it there. And then, in the Army, being artillery essentially is all surveying, especially like FDC. Oh, yeah. You have to lay out the battery. You're calculating where the rounds are going. You're getting information from the forward observer. You're doing basically bearing intersections. You're doing, applying all the calculus and physics that go into it, which are, I wasn't doing that freehand. That's all slide rules or on the computers, but it's all, and you're laying out a map. So that's all surveying. Yeah. And I just enjoyed all that. And so when I started getting kind of more serious about college, I was a colossal screw off in high school. I failed algebra in high school, and I did 4 years of auto shop. I did welding. I did wood shop. I was just going to go in the Army. I work in the trades, and so once I became a father at a really young age, and I was like, okay, I got to get, it's going to be tough working in the trades. And so my dad was an engineer, so I just started, pounding the books and worked through junior college and starting from Math 1 and working my way, and then eventually transferred into Fresno State. And originally I was a civil engineering major. I didn't even know they had a survey program. I was walking the halls the first week, and the Dr. Crossbill, that was the coordinator at the time, was the civil engineers hate him because we recruit a bunch of guys and gals over to the survey program. But he had me come in, and we started talking. That was it. I was sold. So
oh, sure, yeah.
That's kind of my route to get there.
Fresno State's got a really strong.
Oh yeah, one of the best.
Yeah,
one of the best. And my takeaway from that is, I wonder what % of surveyors were complete screw offs in high school.
Well, I was a straight A student in high school. I took to college to where I became a screw off.
Well, I mean, mine carried on to college.
Right.
I just went straight.
You did go to high school. You did go to high school in North Carolina, right?
I did.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was. I had
I'm surprised as you are. Yeah.
Oh man. So talk about how your experience in the military carried over to, being the owner of a company.
I think it helped me. It helped me in leadership. Helped me with work ethic. The interesting thing about the military, it had its detractors at different times too, because definitely I had sort of a lot of criticism of me being too much of a hard ass or being too direct. I think that's the main thing I've gotten is being too direct, which I always find to be odd. Is like, don't you want to be direct? To understand where people stand. So the military, there's just no excuses. You start making excuses, everybody just jumps on. Even it wasn't your fault, and you just can't do it. And so you develop a mindset that you have to get beyond. If something's wrong, you have to get beyond it quickly. It helped with that, and then you learn a ton from the great leaders, the handful of great leaders you're exposed to, and you learn so much more from all the bad leaders about what they do makes them wildly ineffective with yelling and screaming and throwing things, and so. Yep. The other thing what the military does is it does give you responsibility at a really young age, and they give you the opportunity at a young age. You're going to screw things up, and then they'll take a stripe, or you'll get in trouble. You'll have to go through kind of the gauntlet with it, but then they get the opportunity to do it again. So I think having that opportunity to at a very young age to have some leadership and go from hanging out with your buddies and getting a stripe and having to be in charge of your buddies and everybody screw you over and then realize what that's like, and so by the time I came out of college in my late 20s, I was, work at my LSIT, but I wanted a leadership position. I wanted to accelerate as quickly as possible. So I think it just really put me on a fast track to move into project management and group management very quickly.
Well, yeah, you hit the hardest point is go from working alongside your buddies to then having to direct and supervise your buddies. That's usually the first step in the transition to being a manager, and not a lot of people can take that step.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I think I was talking to one of my guys today, and one of I went to work for Nolte and Associates, and they were bought out by MD5 years ago. And so I was working for them kind of right out of college. There was another party chief survey technician that left shortly after. And so basically I inherited all of the projects he was working on. We had a big high rise we were doing, and just a bunch of other stuff. It was all around the Sacramento area. And so I inherited his chairman, and the common knowledge with this guy was a complete screw up. Everybody in the office would talk poorly of him. We looked at him. He was kind of like a quintessential chairman with hair kind of going all over the place and a little bit disheveled. And nobody had a good thing to say about him, particularly the guy that he worked for would just constantly berate him. And so, when they said, hey, you got to use Lane, I said, okay, that's fine. But what I had learned from my experiences was like, well, people can say what they want to say about somebody, but that person as an individual has to prove to me, whether they're good, if there's issues. And so I took him off to the side and I said, look, people have said different things about you. And he goes, yeah, I know that. I go, look, this is day one. What do we do from this day forward? You'll only be judged by me from what your actions or behavior from this day forward. You're here on time. You want to pay attention. Whatever knowledge I have, I will share with you. I will support you. I'll be that person. I said, you screw up, you're going to hear it from me too. I'll be the first one to tell you. And so, he was surprised and thankful, but really what amounted to it, the guy was a great guy, and people were judging him just because of his aesthetic, or kind of his. He was a farm boy from the outskirts there in Sacramento, and he did excellent. He blossomed. We worked really well together. He knew how to kind of mark the stakes. I didn't know what. I could calc anything, but coming out of college, I know how to mark the construction stakes. And so here's how we're going to do it. Like, I'll calc it. You show me how you're marking it, and then we'll lay it out. And so we made a great team. And he went on. He didn't have a lot of confidence. We kind of built it, and he went on. He actually became a really good party chief, and ran across him, 15, 20 years later. He was very thankful and appreciative of that interaction. So, that's one of the things I really learned from the military was, you can't sit there and just people will say bad things, and you have to evaluate for yourself.
Yeah. On that note, I want to ask you, talk about the importance of having a good supporting cast around you, not only as a leader, but as a business owner.
Well, it's a must. I mean, you need to surround yourself with people to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And I think if you're there wherever, if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're the funniest one, you better get some new friends. You need to offset that. You need people that are that if you're going off in the wrong direction, that will speak up and share their knowledge with you. And I think that is absolutely key.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Absolutely.
I
I often think that I'm the smartest and funniest person in the room. So
that's not good, buddy.
I know
you don't want to be that person.
I've been told this by many people other than Shannon.
And more times than not, you might be thinking that, but you're not.
I know. But
Sean, that's
we're in the room together a lot. So
I just go in the room. I'm like, I'm the dumbest person in here. That's my approach. I just run with it.
I'm the smartest and funniest after about 3 whiskeys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, no question. So, how big is your company, Shannon?
Well, we're at 15 people.
15 people. So this is always intriguing to me because I have worked for really small companies. I've worked for really big companies, and I've kind of settled into a medium-sized company. And there are definitely pros and cons to working for all three of those: small company, mid-sized company, large company. When you are looking to hire somebody, talk a little bit about your sales pitch. Like what do you have to offer somebody who is considering joining your company?
Well, coming from big companies and medium companies, one, we put together a very competitive pay and benefits package. And so I know we're very competitive with any of the bigs or mediums, and definitely way more than any small company. So I know we compete on that side of it. And I think the main thing we offer is just it's growth. You're working directly with the owners to grow the business. Mm-hmm. And we're committed to it. We'll support you to go into conferences. We'll support any other supplemental training and help you along with us, team with us to grow the business.
This portion of the program brought to you by Cyanic Automation. I'm so glad to have these guys back. Cyanic Automation is a boutique software development house based in Canada. Y'all know how much I love people from Canada. Mike and Doug, love these guys. Met at Matricon in 2003 and worked on many projects for high-profile Fortune 100 companies. Mike saw a large market of SMEs that also needed to automate their processes, but at the same time was not being served. From this need emerged Cyanic Automation with the goal to improve human productivity and fulfillment at work via automation. Their enthusiastic, devoted, and highly skilled team works to deliver exceptional custom software solutions to small to medium-sized businesses. They have long-term relationships with companies in various sectors: government, oil and gas, finance, charities, nonprofits, construction, engineering, manufacturing, and many more. This is a result of their deep understanding of customers, businesses, and commitment to quality. Each project is of the highest importance, and every customer is unique in their eyes. To find out more, visit Cyanic with a C, automation.com. And whether it be from your military experience or just the path you took to become a professional surveyor, talk about the importance of mentoring.
It's key. It's never ending. The thing I'll say about mentoring too is that it's a two-way street, right? So it's not just you talking at somebody else. Think about, everybody wants to complain about the generations, right? Whatever. Yep. I mean, for us, I guess we're all Gen Xers, right? So we were the pain in the ass back in the day, and then millennials, and now Gen whatever the heck it is, right? The best way to break those things down is that when you're interacting with somebody, is to listen and learn and find out what makes them tick. So you can, from a mentorship standpoint, you can kind of give them direction and guidance and help them kind of plan their workout or life. I mean, we have a really young team, and through COVID and everything else, I just find there's a lot of people coming to us that are lacking certain basic people skills and just being able to kind of interact with in an office environment or a work environment. So that so having to kind of understand like where they're coming from definitely helps formulate and maybe some things that we can change.
Yeah.
And I think that goes I think that goes unsaid too much. We take for granted that a lot of the incoming workforce and the people we're working with may not have the same general skill set or experience to interact with
Mhm.
people and
Yep.
communicate. And I think we just assume too much.
Mhm.
I don't know. That's not really a question, but
No, it's a statement.
yeah, it just, I experienced the same thing. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we have an intern that went to college during COVID, and this is the first time he's been in an office. This is like literally the first time he has been anywhere interacting with anything outside of high school.
Mm.
Like his entire college
Yeah.
experience was remote from his parents' house.
Interesting.
I mean, and that is just an amazing perspective that we don't have at all. And he still has the same, education that a typical college kid would get. He just has never been out
Sure.
and interacted in an office.
Yeah.
And they thrive for these things, but
They do.
they don't know how to send an email.
Well, they struggle picking up the phone and calling another human being. That's like,
Oh, yeah.
That 100%.
Yeah. That's,
So, and we've been working, and I'm sure you're doing the same thing of moving past the not belittling, but it's okay that you've never done that. Here's some tips, you know, you leave your shame at the door. Nobody cares. It's fine.
Yep.
You call somebody, it's okay. And it's okay to call them and, let me get back to you, those kind of just general things. It's giving the confidence to a lot of these kids. And I'm curious, Shannon, how do you give confidence to those kids that you have? Because it seems like you've had a lot of success growing talent and getting them faster than you would assume.
Yeah, it's there's different methods, right? I think one of the things that's been very effective is that we'll go to like an event or something like that, and we'll be like the oldest people there, and a lot of people, even on our client side, they're more closer to our team's ages than our age, right? So if I find events for them to go to, and I can say, hey, that's the client right there, and by the way, they're they graduated 4 years before you did, they make it more relatable to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I started, kind of breaking these things down. So trying to find a way where I can set that up and they can see it. And I tell you, man, it's hard because, even some of our clients, we've got one client that, their whole team is really young and they're remote and scattered all over the place. So they work really hard. It would be great to try to get together and introduce them to some of our team. I just know, we would go to the next level with communication and really helping them. And so I'm trying really hard to get there. So it's a process. I think that's the main thing, is just trying to find like, hey, that person's not, they'll get on LinkedIn, hey, look at them, like, they graduated, and like, oh, and then because they're thinking they're talking to some old guy like me, right? And they get intimidated.
You're not old, Shannon, just FYI.
Yeah.
Well, like it's finding those opportunities, get them together. I mean, they'll still go separate and then text each other, but still, that's a connection. They'll never talk to them on the phone, but it sounds like it's finding new and better ways to connect everyone in the office with other people that are probably going through the same thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Shannon, you got some really cool hobbies, golfing and hanging out with your family and fishing and all this stuff. Talk about the importance, especially as a small business owner, of work-life balance.
Well, yeah, you said you got off the golf course earlier, so in general, that means you're doing something right.
Yeah, I try to sneak it in here or there. It's important. I mean, I think the thing with the starting a business, I mean, sometimes it's 7 days a week, and one of the things that even with our team that we try to really emphasize that, even with balancing them. I mean, one of the things that we don't want them sending emails to clients or themselves late at night or early in the morning. Like, hey, just stop that. Let's not do that. And then also making sure they take their PTO and their time off. And then I think with my wife and I we're in the business, and so one of the things we did was we joined a local golf club, which is our house and our business are 2 miles apart, and the golf club's right in between, and so it enables us to kind of sneak out and play a little golf. And she enjoys it immensely. I enjoy it. So and it's it's like you said, like charging your batteries is a real important part of staying fresh. And the whole saying with business, particularly with small businesses, are you working in the business or are you working on the business? And when you're there, you're basically working in it because you're a small business. And so if you get away from a little bit, you're still thinking about it, but then you're talking more about strategy and looking to the big picture. So I think those things are really important. And I'm also involved with the American Council of Engineering Companies and the president of Orange County chapter. So and then there's a lot of duties with that, that I think are really important, that are kind of bigger picture, again, more strategic than, the business where you're doing more advocacy legislation and, looking at kind of what's vexing us as a profession and what the challenges are. So yeah, I think all of that together, work, professional, getting involved in those things, and then also having interests outside of, outside the business, definitely help you stay grounded and then, keep your creativity up.
If you had to put a percentage on it, maybe not what you're doing, but what's ideal in your head of working in the business versus working on the business?
I think it's, ideal is probably 50-50, really. It's especially small businesses. You can't, you can't, shirk enough, like delegate enough of it. Just there's too many things with teaching and coaching and working on. The best way to do that is, reviewing maps and doing plans and getting involved with it and doing the QC where you're working in it and then, helping the team grow that way. So I think that's kind of, I could see it, maybe as we grow, decreasing somewhat, but somewhere around there is probably where it'll stay.
Yeah. And for the most part, surveyors have a choice to work either on the public side or the private side, right? When it comes to surveying.
You said a choice, but.
Well, a choice. Like a career path. Like you can take a career path on the public side, or you can take a career path on the private side. And, obviously, Shannon, your path is taking you to the private side. Talk about that just a little bit and why you prefer the private side.
Yeah, I when I was at Fresno State, I did some summer internships for Caltrans, the California Department of Transportation, and it was awesome. They paid, and it was a great experience. But then I got to also see the bureaucracy, and for me, like even with the Army, and then there was a short period of time my wife and I were on welfare. We were broke with two small kids, and so to have like these big bureaucracies be in control of your destiny. I didn't enjoy that at all. And so when I was looking at Caltrans and, you get a whole bunch of people that have they're the same class, they have the job. The person who worked there longer, they make more money and usually they're in charge, not based off of merit, based off of time and other issues. And then the other thing I noticed as well is that as a whole, even though they had a lot of time off and benefits, retirement, everything else, is that they were so damn miserable. They spent a lot of time just kind of complaining about, all of the internal strife and everything else. And, I thought I'm going to college. I want to do this. I really enjoy it. And what I like about the private side is really what you put into it. And there's a ton of opportunity. And, our clients are, whether you're supporting public clients or land development clients, they need us to find a way to get the work done. And I just really enjoyed that aspect of it.
Yeah. Yeah. We're kind of professional problem solvers, right?
Yeah.
Well, and of course we have to fix engineers' mistakes and architects' mistakes and stuff like that, but that's what we do.
Yes, of course. That's what you do.
No argument. I love it.
Yeah.
Talk about the generation of surveyors that are coming out of whether it be Fresno State or just these other programs in general. Do you think they're pretty well suited to hit the ground running?
Yeah, you have to, I guess one of the things that's kind of interesting that early in my career, like I found I worked for a couple non-grads and I didn't get along with them at all. Their expectations of me were like, you went to college, you have college degree and you can't run this program. They were very kind of hard ass and not understanding of kind of what the purpose of the degree is and that the degree teaches you critical thinking and surveying. Right. Yeah. So, if we hire somebody right out of college, we're making an investment with them, but we know that they're going to learn quickly. We know that, that we can put them on a path to get licensed, and it's a process that we have to go through. We've got to provide training with them. We've got to show them the applications that we use and the processes that we do. And so, one of the things, even us as a small company from day one, we've always had interns. And so, we've had really great luck with interns. And then we've had 6 interns in the 5 years we've been in business. And 5 of the 6 have been great. And 1 was just immature and didn't work out. But, I don't see anything any different than when we were in college coming out of school. I really don't.
Yeah. How do you pick those interns? Like, obviously you have some good instincts because, shooting whatever that is, 87% is pretty strong. What do you look for in an intern, or how do you select those
Well, we're involved with the schools. We put our money where our mouth is. I mean, we definitely involved. We're involved in their the competition committees, and like at Cal Poly Pomona, we do work with them and support them at their conferences. So we go speak. We go to Fresno State, same thing. Speak and support them, and just we're constantly involved with helping them. If it's tracking out equipment or doing different things, and so we just get in front of them, talk to them, and then just let them know, hey, we're looking for interns. And so through those experiences, the people that like hearing from us, that like what we're talking about, and then the instructors, because they're supporting them, they push people our way as well. And so we haven't been super picky about it. I just think our expectations are we're getting somebody that's a college student that that we know they're not going to be able to, we're not going to just put them to work on day one. So we have to put training into them and support them, but we know they're going to learn fast, and our expectations, I think, are in line. I think maybe that's what some people with interns as well is, maybe their expectations or the work or the demands they have, isn't going to work out. So it's just worked out, and we'll continue as long as we're in business. We will always have interns.
What's interesting to me? So Fresno State probably. Well, arguably, I guess, but one of the most respected geomatics programs in the country.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
4-year degree
Mm-hmm.
in a state that does not require a 4-year degree to become a licensed surveyor. What are your thoughts on that, Shannon?
It's for those people who don't have 4-year degrees, or say now one who listens to this blowhard say we need 4-year degrees. It's been very beneficial to me. I think the critical thinking part of it, the exposure you get on the gamut of getting a focused degree, it really is a superior degree. I mean, the things that I've been able to do in my career, I could directly attribute to the experiences that I had. I guess my damn clock again.
It's part of the experience.
Exactly. Yeah. Used to have from barking dogs and crying kids. Now I got a grandfather clock. What are we talking about?
Well, no, and I guess where I was going to go with this was, obviously you have a 4-year degree, so you feel strongly about that, but unfortunately, wow, that's what I get.
Yeah. Keep going.
My God. Unfortunately, not every state feels that way, right? Many states require a 4-year degree to become a professional licensed surveyor. Arizona, California are a couple states that don't require any degree to become a licensed surveyor. Just kind of give me your perspective on those requirements in general.
Yeah, it's, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think even like California, I think there's still a path, even for an engineer, like a PE, you can still become PE without a degree. It's very hard because, you need EIT and more years of experience. Surveying is a little clear cut with 6 years of experience and 2 year, you're responsible, charge field and office, and then you can go through that process. I guess my take on it is this, that you can pass a test. You can be really good at certain aspects of surveying and be a really good construction surveyor, maybe really good on boundary. The thing, what I will say about getting a legitimate 4-year degree in surveying is that it gives you the breadth of experience from geodesy, photogrammetry, boundary, the survey computations that it really as you get licensed and you get into the profession, it really enables you to really experience, I think, more of what's out there for the profession, and ultimately the public and our clients benefit from that knowledge. So, I encourage, and we have people that work for us that we're working on supporting them going through and getting their 4-year degrees right now as well. That they could get experience and get their license. But I just said in order for you to really develop that broader perspective on the profession, the 4-year degree will help with that a great deal.
100%. Totally agree. What value do you put on experience then?
It's it's right there neck and neck, right? For me, it's the degree gave me the platform, the experience. It enabled me to accelerate different jobs that I was able to take on. So my experience was accelerated. I didn't have to spend 10 years in the field. I was chiefing right out of college, and I spent 3 years kind of working office and field. And so at the end of the 3 years, I was got licensed. I was doing a ton of achieving. I was doing a ton of different projects, and we're going out in the field, breaking out a section, coming to the office, working on, and doing the reduction in the office, doing construction staking. And so they just really accelerated me moving into management. So I can see on the experience side, if you're having to go through that process, it's probably lengthier to get to that same level. You can get there. Absolutely. There's plenty of people we all know that have.
Sure.
So
when you look at the profession from, say, 30,000 feet, from your perspective, what are we doing really well and what could we be doing better?
Well, the main, I'll start with the bad and go the good. The thing that we have to do, and it's I think is vexing for all of us, is it seems like we're our worst advocates for the profession. That we're kind of the best kept secret, I think, out there with professions, and so it's really hard to try to get the next generation beyond that interested in what we do. I mean, I have 4 kids myself, and none of them are interested in it, and it just baffles me, because I love it. So as a profession, I think we really struggle with attracting new talent and to sell and to advocate that it is a great profession. I think what we do well as professionals, they'll just like us sitting here talking right now, that there's characters in every profession, but even like through ACEC, and I sit across people I compete against, but we collaborate on all kinds of legislation and other things that we're working on the professional level. And at the end of the day, we do support each other. And it's not, I guess I look at it this way. Yeah, we compete, but there's so few of us that there's really not, I don't see anybody as really competitors. I think we're collaborators. And so I think we do that really well. I mean, those of us on the private side, like we know that we can pick up the bat phone and call each other and help each other out. Yep. And we do that.
Sure. Is in California, is serving self-regulated, or is there a board that manages complaints and things of that nature?
Wait, shouldn't you know this?
I'm not licensed in California,
but you work there.
Yeah, but I want to hear from Shannon.
Okay.
Yes, there's a board. Yeah, board of professional engineers and land surveyors. Yes, that governs surveying. Yep.
Because there are some states. There are some states that are self-regulated. Is why I bring it up. And I'm looking at, like, is it better to be self-regulated, or are these boards just too bureaucratic to really manage the professions?
Be curious how you self-regulate and how that doesn't become any better than a board. But.
Yeah. I agree. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's well, I think in California, I mean, it's such a big animal with just number of people and dollars and everything else, that we have a couple things that are going for us. So American Council of Engineering Companies does a good job of collaborating with the board of professional engineers for things that are potentially negative impact to the licensure to the profession. We collaborate with California Land Surveyors Association on the many things that are in common. And we had a company out of Texas that was providing products that were mapped, land survey products without a license. And so, we collaborate with the process to issue a amicus brief and to get the courts to rule, like, hey, they are practicing surveying in this state, and therefore they cannot do that. Right. So, it's, I mean, obviously self-serving from a professional standpoint, but we've all seen people who are practicing the profession who aren't qualified and the damage that they do. And so it is to our professional responsibility to support the profession. I mean, make sure that we get people we can get them licensed, get people that are interested, because if we don't do that part of it, then it's really hard to justify that, hey, we need to make sure that we have a licensure, because we're creating a huge bottleneck, right? Then that it will go away if that's the case, because jobs need to get built, right?
Yeah. On a little bit different note, you work in a state, obviously, where the union is strong, correct?
Right.
And your company is not signatory to the union, right?
No, we're non-union. Yeah.
Non-union.
I managed union contracts. I was union myself. I went up for a short period of time. So just in trying to get my field experience. So yeah, it's here. It's ever present. So
yeah, for sure. Talk about the pros and cons a little bit about
Yeah.
union versus non-union, because I like a lot of the things the union does as far as like the apprenticeship program goes and stuff like that. I think it's a path to developing better surveyors
Or more.
Yep. But I would love to hear your perspective, Shannon.
Well, there's an inherent conflict with the union. With the unions for essentially skilled labor, not professional, and so their charter is that they don't. It's not in the union's benefit for people to get licensed, right? They want them to stay kind of the journey level, party chief level, because then they're union members.
That's a good point.
And so they want to keep it as a skilled labor technical job, not a profession.
More
so
of a trade.
There's a conflict there, right? And the challenge was, if you're coming into the profession and you want to be a surveyor, the best surveyors that we all know are people who work the office and field. Once they get licensed, they start managing work. People who come through union companies, and we all know these different people, and people will sign for them even though they don't have qualifying field experience, and they get licensed because they're bright and they can get licensed. They wind up managing work, and then they're directing people in the field, and they lack compassion and understanding what it's like working in the field, which causes a problem, right? So you have that issue. And so it does create a problem if you're working for a union company and you want to get licensed. And then, if they put you in the field because it's so expensive at the union, then you're like a third crew member, you're not a party chief. You're really not learning. Yeah, you can learn how to set up an instrument, but until your butt's on the line, you're not really learning, right? So there's inherent problems with that, with developing professionals with union companies. I don't. If somebody wants to make a good wage and they want to go that route, I don't wish them any ill will off of it. There's so much more to the profession than just working as a union survey crew member, and it relegates you to more construction. When so it kind of limits what you can do. Like for our crews, everybody works office and field, so they're getting a ton of experience. So when there's a ton of field work, there's nobody in the office, and then the office is full and everybody's processing. And so it's really a world-class education and getting that experience that if we were union, we could not afford to do that. We could not bring the union people in. They would be sitting at home if we didn't have any field work for them.
Right. Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah. What about like the CST program and stuff like that? Is that something you promote?
I haven't. It's funny you guys bring that up, because we literally just started looking into that this week. Right now we have a couple of people that are going through the junior college. There's two programs here locally, one at Santiago, another one at College of the Canyons. And so we have people that are going through those programs. But yeah, I wanted to look into the CST. I mean, the challenge we have is just getting, we're encouraging our young team to take their LSITs. And so even though they're going through the junior college program, they still seem like they're woefully still behind, and so there's still a gap there with helping them pass LSITs.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you guys involved?
We have a big CST exam coming up next Saturday.
Yeah. The Honorable Kent Grow is proctoring.
Proctoring. I will be proctoring. Yes, I think 7 examinees.
Yeah. Yep. We made an initiative. That's
awesome.
Basically, I just signed everybody up and said, we're doing this.
Yeah. No, I mean,
gave them all the materials, and everyone's been helping each other, and they're all excited, and we're just going to do it as a company to make it happen.
I think it's one of the really good things that NSPS does.
Yes.
So I'm a supporter for sure. So Shannon, let me ask you this.
There's several modules in it that everybody goes
through. There's like CST level 1, level 2, level 3. Yeah. It's kind of a path to licensure in a perfect world. Yeah.
But it also shows an intent and
initiative
and some initiative to, we want to, and it may be a little bit of, just doing it to do it, but also just showing as an employer, hey, we're serious about this. I paid for every single person's exam. Just say, what, let's take that option off the table. I'm going to pay for it all. Sit for the exam, study for it, and we'll go from there. Yeah.
I mean, especially for folks that, obviously don't have education, right? Not education, but like survey education. It is definitely a path to licensure. It allows them to get some credentials.
Sure.
And develop some pride, some level of competition, that type thing. Accountability goes along with it. I'm a supporter of the program, no doubt about it.
So Shannon, I'm curious, you mentioned it really early on. We talk about, this term technology a lot. So I'm curious about, especially when you go into starting your own business, how do you, or what's your thoughts on using the latest and greatest technology? How is it evolving? What do you guys do at your firm to maybe take advantage of, or what do you do to separate yourselves in that field of the technology component of geomatics?
Well, what I've always loved about technology and surveying, I graduated in the mid 90s. And so, technology is really starting to kind of get integrated with what we do. And so I've just really enjoyed the ability to try to make more observations, kind of make more of the time you're in the field, make it more impactful, find ways to implement efficiencies. So I've always gravitated towards the technology. Back in the day, in the mid 90s, I was able to break down a whole section using RTK, one day. And that would take us 4 or 5 days of traversing, right? So I just enjoyed those aspects of technology. So that's one of the things that's always interested me from whether we're implementing UAVs, doing, static and mobile LiDAR scanning, auto line work, using line commands and automated line drafting, and then implementing different CAD standards that enables us to speed up the process and improve quality. So, and then, the other thing too is it enables us to provide some additional items for our clients that can really help them with their jobs. I think just pragmatically, like just providing like a really high resolution ortho photo, that you can collect from your drone that doesn't take a ton of time or effort and that really provides a ton of value, pretty neat to do. So, for technology for us, we're a Trimble shop, kind of from day one. So we're running the SX10 and SX12s and the R12Is. We're doing the DJI RTK enabled drones. If there's my alarm clock or my graphic clock again. And just the work processes, the workflows, right? So, full feature code library and coding. And so, we combine it. We'll go and we do a ton of design surveys, a lot of, stuff that involves ADA and everything else, right? So it has to be very precise. And so, we'll go out and we'll survey a parking lot, or we do a ton of vehicle charging stations. So be able to collect all of the line work and see it on the data collector and then bring it in the office and process it very quickly, run the network adjustments, check for errors. Yeah. That's just the stuff that our workflow that we run through and load everything up to Trimble Connect. And so, we can get it or close to real time in the office, get the file set up for the FOOs that way as well. So I really enjoy the efficiencies to pick up, and that's what we're always looking to roll out.
All right, Geoholics. Got to introduce a new friend of the program this year, Aerotech Mapping. Aerotech Mapping has been supplying high-quality geospatial solutions, services, and support for the AEC industry since 2002. They've completed projects across the U.S. and abroad using the latest technology and resources combined with a highly educated and experienced staff. They specialize in large-scale, design-level photogrammetry for a variety of sectors within the AEC industry, including aviation, transportation, energy, commercial development, mining, public works, and wastewater, just to name a few. Their mapping is produced under the direct supervision of an ASPRS certified photogrammetrist, and they've invested in the latest equipment and technology to ensure that they meet their clients' challenging demands. At Aerotech Mapping, they take great pride in the work they do, all created by an amazing team of professionals. To find out more, visit atmlv.com.
Yeah, I love that.
And I love how you just kind of brought it into the workflow and this is just how we do a project.
Right.
I got to give Dr. Nick a shout. He sent us a little YouTube video of like him and another guy doing real basic kind of, this is what we do to get some corners and get some topo. And I love how it's like, all right, well, here we're gonna hit this. We're gonna fly the drone. We're gonna get some ground truthing, and that's just the workflow of how we do this.
You have to,
and I think more once companies embrace that's just how we do it now. We're gonna kind of skip over we're going to talk less about how we're using technology and more about what's the latest and greatest in that, instead of going from more old school to new school.
100%.
Everyone's on new school because that's the workflow.
Sure.
It sounds like Shannon's already there.
I believe so. Yep.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing that I say about it is like technology will never replace good survey practice and procedure, right? You still have to set up, you still have to have your equipment calibrated, you still have to close your traverses, you still have to, you can't just have something wingding out there with no other ties to it, right? So that's one of the things we preach all the time. They're everything. They get excited. You go, okay, did you check it? What did you check into? Oh, I shot 1 point over there. Like, well, that's that gives us no redundancy.
Before we get out of here, I do have one question for you. I guess it's a 3-part question.
Oh boy.
Well, not really, but you'll see where I'm going with this. So,
will we?
From a professional perspective, what are the top 3 achievements you're most proud of?
Oh, that's a good question.
There you go. See, you thought it was going to be dumb.
I did.
Yeah.
Well, I think getting licensed, that's definitely one of them. I think starting and successfully running a business for 5 years is number 2. And then the other thing, which was I had the opportunity at Jacobs, is that I ran a program called Pipeline Safety Enhancement Plan. So it covered so-called gas and SDG&E. And the program, I started from scratch. I put together a team for it, and they built it to over 300 people that are working on the program I think after about a year. And so I had some really out-of-body experiences on the program because I had a team of about 50 people that are direct staff. We had a leadership team of about 20 people. And we would have these weekly meetings, which I called Scrum, because we would just kind of get together and work through. One of the things that I found early on is that dealing with this client is that, the communication was so poor with everybody. And so I spent my time basically having to start a meeting where I essentially was, filling people in what was going on, having them give updates as well. And so it just was basically a communication meeting. And how that brought the team together. And we had people kind of scattered all over Southern and Central California. It brought them together, and what we were able to accomplish, that we were the one team in this overall big $1.5 billion program that was wildly successful. And we were successful because we were a team. And, I had these couple moments where everybody was kind of joking and communicating everything else. And I literally was kind of rising above looking at this thing and, wow, this is something that I'd love to, break both hands, pat myself on the back. I mean, it was my vision putting it together, but just getting people to buy in and see them grow with it and see them run with that. That was really the neat part.
Oh, so rewarding, right?
Yeah.
And what's crazy is that's up there with getting licensed and
exactly.
and starting and running a successful business. And I think that's really cool.
Says a lot.
Yeah, it really does.
Does indeed.
What else, Shannon? What else do you want to get out there? We kind of touched on a lot of good topics so far.
I think for me, I've been doing this for 30 years that, and I talked about it earlier as well, but I think just getting involved with the new generation coming in and helping attract people and bring them into the profession and supporting those who are in the education side of it, and whatever way we can help them to maintain interest and get more people into the profession. It's something that I think all of us as professionals that we have to spend more time than maybe we thought we were going to have to do for that. I think it's just our professional responsibility to stay engaged, and so we do to help grow
paying
the
it forward, right? Paying it forward.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you guys present this as this like option where you could choose to give to charity or not, and I think everything we've talked about it's a necessity for the livelihood of the business.
100%.
I mean, it's not even whether you get to choose or not. Like, you have to do that to be able to continue it going, because it won't survive without it.
Agree 100%. Definitely.
I think the other thing too is having a mindset of always look for the opportunity, right? That we're always vexed with. Not every day is a great day. There's things, people quit, things happen, we lose jobs. There's always an opportunity, and I think to develop that mindset, that even when it seems like the chips are down, they can say, okay, well, maybe it's a time to retool. Maybe it's, time to evaluate, and kind of look inward and go, we lost a client. Okay, what was our culpability, our fault with that?
Right.
Opportunity. I think, and I would say to me, that would be the best mindset to develop, the healthiest mindset. And it's hard. I mean, there's times like you can get negative, but to keep going back to going, okay, like even for me, when I start getting negative, it's like, okay, focus. Where's the opportunity? There's always an opportunity.
Yeah. I love that. Love that.
Well, you may have just led into this last question here, Shannon, but
You may have already answered it.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'll give you the opportunity. We asked this to everybody. Do you have a mantra that you live by?
I think just live with gratitude. It really is.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Live with gratitude. Perfect. Do we miss something there? We good?
No, we're good. Yeah.
Yeah. What else? You got anything else?
No, this has been awesome.
It has. I mean, that was the fastest hour ever.
Right. Well, it's just
It means it was great content.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Shannon, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your service. Thank you for everything you're doing for the profession.
Absolutely.
And we'd love to do it again sometime if you're up for it.
Yeah, it'd be my pleasure. And thanks, the guys. Really appreciate the time as well.
You betcha.
Got a nice little thing going on here, so that maybe want to drink some whiskey now. So, Sean, what part of North Carolina were you from?
I grew up about just outside of Greensboro in a town called Burlington, and then I went to North Carolina State for my BS, and then moved out here after that. So,
yeah, so that's why you're a little interested in the Final Four.
Just a little bit interested in the Final Four this year. Is maybe hit a little close to literally home.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! All right.
Go
Until next time.
Wolfpack.
Go Wolfpack.
Love it. To go Wolfpack.
Love it. Is the music playing?
No.
This thing is acting really weird right now.
Well, you're gonna have to sing it.
Oh God, you do not want that. You do not want that. Why am I not connected here? This is so weird. No, it says we're connected.
No, you have to push the triangle sideways. The sideways triangle is the play button.
Dude, I'm so pissed.
Did you
right
turn
now.
your volume up on your phone?
How about now? Try now.
It's all you, buddy.
No, look at everything's supposed to be working.
All right, well, take us out anyway without
you sing Old MacDonald, why do this?
I'm not going to do that. Just keep going.
All right. Until next time, everybody.
Yeah, that's not it.
That's
either.
not it either. Good God, what is happening? Anyone, if you'd like to be a guest on a future show, shoot us an email at info@thegeoholics.com.
That's right.
Every Girl by Turnpike Troubadours.
Yeah, we'll
available everywhere.
We'll plug it in there.
You'll drop it in.
Yeah,
I know how you do. Until next time, everyone. This is great. There were so many good takeaways.
Oh,
This is a list here. You learn more from bad leaders.
Love it.
Love that. Mentoring is a two-way street.
It is.
100%. Technology will never replace good survey practice.
It won't.
There's always an opportunity.
Man, there is.
Live with gratitude.
Please.
And most importantly, be safe and healthy.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.